I just wanted to start off by saying thank you. And that's not just because of you taking the time today to speak with me, but for the past 20 plus years of you bringing Piccolo and Gohan and so many other characters in the show to life. It means a lot to me personally, as if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, I think I would be a very different person. I am rocking a set of Dragon
I
Balls.
noticed that.
Yeah, so just in case anyone needs a wish, just let me know and I'll summon Shenlong. So thank you so much for your time and dedication to this show and this industry. So huge congrats on the film. I've seen it a couple of times now and it's so much fun. It is so much fun. And I wanted to start off by saying, as you've been able to craft these characters for so long, which a lot of voice actors and even actors don't get to do, how exciting is it for you each time you get to come back to these characters, especially with an original story such as Superhero?
I think it's pretty natural, like riding a bike or, something like that. It's just, no matter how long that length of time is in between the projects, once you come back, it's just like, here's an old friend. I'm so familiar. Even if you don't talk to your best friend you've known since middle school or high school, and you live life and decades pass, and then you just pick right up the last time you had a conversation. That's what Dragon Ball feels like to me when you get to come back. And it's always exciting because it comes full circle. It's meant so much to me personally as a fan and professionally as a voiceover actor. So this is huge. This is wonderful.
Yeah, all these actors, these dub actors that I've worked with for a billion years, they're like highly tuned automobiles. They're these, like, they've been tuned and retuned for every single race, and we've been so lucky to be able to kind of, take a spin around the track every now and then. And we're always waiting. We're always idling for something new, right? And luckily, in between these amazing features that we get stuff like great video games and mobile games and things like that to keep our voices fresh and to keep reminding us kind of what these characters are. And it's been it's just such a fun ride, especially to take on this particular film, which gives the audience kind of a look into some underserved characters that people have always been such a big fan of. Like Kyle and I, we go to shows every weekend or every other weekend, or as many weekends as we can like physically tolerate, meeting fans, and they love the show. They want this so badly. We know how much it means to them. So when we put on our Dragon Ball pants and go to work, like, we're trying to do the best possible job, and everybody always delivers. I mean, I couldn't be more happy. Like, directing this film is the easiest thing. Like, you just get people who already know what they're doing, and we all work together to try and make something as incredible as possible.
Absolutely, and you guys absolutely smashed out the park as you always do, and it's something where I feel like this franchise especially is timeless. I genuinely felt watching this that I was transported back to the times of over here in England. I used to remember getting home from school in the late 90s, early 2000s, and watching it at 5 o'clock on Cartoon Network. And that was kind of my daily ritual. And I felt, especially with this, because it was Piccolo and Gohan's story at its core. And it just felt like I'd been transported back in time. Everything felt right with the story, the characters, the interactions, the relationships. And I've always loved that relationship between Piccolo and Gohan. And would you say, for the both of you, that relationship or parts of that relationship are true for the two of you, as you've got to know each other so well over the 2 decades?
Yeah, it's just a natural evolution. It's something that was cemented ever since Gohan was a preteen, And I know myself as a fan and an actor, and I know the fans around the world have all been waiting. When is Gohan going to be great again? And now we're at this pivotal moment. It's so great to see. And Gohan's spiritual father right there, as strong and powerful as ever. but also uniquely human in a way, with all the quirky human things like holding cell phones. And I think this is going to become the next big meme. Every fan photo with Dragon Ball people at cons and whatnot, or fellow cosplayers are all going to pull out their phones and do that. It's going to be so great to be a part of.
Yeah, it's really remarkable to see that it's very clear in this film that Piccolo has been enmeshed very deeply into Gohan's entire family. And I loved kind of highlighting how often Piccolo has probably had to pick up Pan from school. And because, Gohan's busy doing this thing, but Vidal's a busy professional herself, and they're doing their business. And what does Piccolo do? He meditates most of the day. I mean, he's free, and he clearly loves Pan. Like you've seen in the rest of the Dragon Ball Super series, that he's spent a lot of time babysitting, looking after Pan, even as a child. I always remember that one scene where Piccolo was looking after him, and he goes to leave, and then he comes immediately back with all these details about, look, she needs to have a nap every 20 minutes. She needs to be like laid on her left-hand side. She always like this squeaker. Don't ever give her that one. And he clearly knows a lot about Pan. I love the scenes with him training her. And just like Piccolo in the movie, I when Kyle came in to do his magic, I was sitting there on the sidelines watching him do what he was doing. And there's a couple of moments where Piccolo in the film turns to the audience and basically goes, "Yes, Gohan's back." And I felt the same way listening to Kyle do what he did, because when you're working on something that's so much larger than life, and that means so much to people, there's a genuine feeling of like, sense of responsibility there. And so we both worked very hard to make sure that those scenes were as breathtaking as they needed to be. And I think Kyle just absolutely killed it in those moments.
Checks in the mail, Mr. Sabat.
Absolutely. Like I said, both of you, well, the entire cast, every single time you bring your A game. And like I said, it's completely, it's timeless. It really does. No matter when you watch this or any part of the series or play the games or anything like that, it hits right here in the heart. It's fantastic stuff. And like you said, the meme of holding the phone like that, it sort of reminded me of the way when you got parents who aren't up to speed with new technology. And I feel like Piccolo in this is the firm but fair uncle. He does have a fun side, but he wants to help out. He wants to instill his morals, especially on Pan, and Pan is as always adorable, absolutely adorable. So you mentioned obviously how it's just another day jumping back into these characters, but with this story especially, it is set quite a way back in the timeline. Into if you go from like today's firm timeline point. So did you find it at all challenging, not just getting back into the characters, like you said, that's quite easy, but going back to the mindset of where these characters were in that part of the story?
Well, I think it's interesting that you kind of caught that vibe from it, because I actually got the impression that this film takes place in a way. It's very nebulous, because the films tend to exist in a timeline all on their own.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that this could, based on kind of what Pan's age is now and where Gohan is now, that this could easily exist after all the events of Dragon Ball Super. Like that's where I felt like this placed. So I felt it was actually very timely. I felt like that the movies sort of exist in this weird timeline, but it seems to me that that the events of this film could actually be either just before what we're seeing in the manga right now, or perhaps even after. It would be interesting to see. It seems like they're getting Piccolo and Gohan leveled up to where they could actually be a significant part of the future of the franchise again. So we will see.
And just one final quick question. This might be quite hard to pinpoint, but would you say that there is a specific moment in the booth for this project specifically that was your favorite?
Spoiler.
Without spoilers.
Yeah, this favorite moments. There are so many excellent moments. The thing really comes down to just convincing. Well, you don't even need to convince fans. They're going to be there, but just to remind them, it's like put the date on your calendar for their release dates globally, of course, but here in North America, August 19th is going to be huge, and release dates in countries around the world all through September. It's huge. You need to see this in the biggest, loudest cinema that you can, especially if IMAX is available. This is the first time to see a Dragon Ball movie in IMAX outside of Japan, and those tickets are on sale now. So hopefully it's going to send a big message to Hollywood. They're going to go, what's this Dragon Ball thing? Look at the power of a fandom, of a franchise that has meant so much to so many people for so many years.
It's hard to pick literally just one thing, because there's just so many elements, like great new cast members, some amazing new people. I know you probably noticed that Charles Martinet has joined the cast, the voice of Mario. We've got some great people playing the Gammas. Zach Aguilar has joined the cast as well. It's a strong film all the way around. But I will say, without any spoilers, there is a moment in this film that reaches like not only the pinnacle of the film, but probably one of my favorite all-time moments in the history of the Dragon Ball franchise. It is at once the part of the film that you were waiting for, but also the most incredible callback to an earlier Dragon Ball moment that you've ever seen, all simultaneously. And it is such an emotional ride at that moment for me and to anyone to go, like, because you realize, like, as an audience member, you will realize, you'll know what's happening because you're seeing it happen. But then when you actually pick it apart, your brain a second later goes, wait a second, this is happening. I'm having to be really vague about it, and you probably know what scene I'm talking about, I hope. But there's no way that could ever be spoiled for you, because the emotional impact that scene will have on you as a Dragon Ball fan will be remarkable. It's I can't even explain how much it gave me chills the whole time, and I'm so excited to see what people feel about that moment. I'm sorry, I don't know if I should give you another quote, because it's so hard to speak. So, like, I just don't want to spoil it just yet.
No, that's absolutely fine. If anything, that just teases people and gets people even more excited for what that moment could be. Kyle and Chris, I've got to wrap up now. Thank you so much again for taking the time with me today, and for being such integral parts in not only this franchise but the anime community as a whole. You guys are absolute legends, so thank you so much.
Thank you, James.
Thank you so much, man. Take care, James.
Time has come, I'm ready to go, venturing into the unknown.